Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our YouTube special broadcast today, specially brought to you by the KL South District Pastoral Council. Wishing you well this blessed and sunny afternoon on a Sunday. And I hope that you've had your lunch, or if not, I hope you're having your lunch now. Or if you've already finished your lunch, why not join us with a cup of coffee or tea as we dive into the topic of mental health. So mental health has been, something that we've been talking about for a while now, especially since the start of pandemic in March 2020. There's a lot that we know, but there's still a lot that we do not know. And so for this afternoon, it brings me great pleasure to be introducing Father Philip Chua, who is the Ecclesiastical Assistant of the Archdiocese Mental Health Ministry, otherwise known as AMHM. He's also a registered and licensed counselor. Welcome, Father. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, JP.
So this is actually the first of three-part formation series on managing mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic. I am so happy to have you here on the program and that you'll be facilitating for the next 90 minutes about what mental health is. And hopefully, I can learn something as well as our audience who are tuning in from YouTube about mental health and how we can actually manage this. So to all of our audience, if you are just tuning into the YouTube broadcast, you will see that there's actually a comment section. Why not drop us a note, say hi to us, let us know where you are actually tuning to us from. And if you have any questions during the entire program, please feel free to drop it into the comment section and we will get to those questions at the end of the program. So Father, I see that you've actually prepared something for us this afternoon. So maybe I will hand over to you, Father, to kickstart this afternoon's program on mental health. Over to you, Father.
Thank you, JP. Thank you. Thank you all our audience in the YouTube, and thank you all of our parishioners. And especially thank you for our South District pastoral team who has coming together to bring this broadcast together to benefit for our parishioners, especially our parishioners and leaders of the church. Yeah. So this afternoon, I'm going to share with you about how to manage our mental health, especially during this pandemic. Well, this is quite a very important sessions, and I'm going to share with you a lot of information. Not only information, however, we're going to invite all our audience together in the second part to do some exercise. How do we cope with our stress, our anxiety, and also in order to prevent from all these mental health issues later on. Yeah. So, all right, good. Just want to share with all of you that whatever we share here is not to be a substitute for professional counseling. Not going to do any counseling in these sessions, not even also medical advice, etc. So if you need some advice, some counseling session, you might contact our mental health professionals regarding some of your mental health issues, right? Yeah. Now, let's start with the mental health definition. I always like to start with what is mental health? Mental health, if you look into the World Health Organization, WHO, actually has four parts. Talk about mental health. Mental health is a state of well-being. I mean that we are a state of well-being where we can realize our own abilities to cope with normal stresses of life. All of us have stress in our life, all of us. And most of us, we can cope with our normal stresses in our work, in our family, in our organization, our church, etc. We can work productively and fruitfully in our daily lives. And on top of that, then we can make a contribution to our community, especially our society, our church organization. So when we know about mental health, it is actually very, very positive for us to talk about our state of well-being, how we cope, how we work productively and fruitfully, and how we can contribute to our community. Mental health is not something like when we talk about mental health, people talk mental health is like people have crazy mind. No?
Yeah, there's a certain impression that people get when we talk about mental health.
Right.
I'm actually very curious as to why people think that way. And maybe for our audience who are watching the program, maybe it would be great for you to also share what is your perception of mental health as Father goes along with today's program.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So mental health also, it influences our way of thinking, our way of feeling, and our way of acting. On the three parts. So in our sharing today, we can talk about our thinking, how we think, how we feel, and how is our behavior. No? And also, it helps us to interpret events and influences our capacity to learn, to communicate, to form, sustain, and end relationship. It also influences our ability to cope with change. Like, for example, now in this pandemic, we're moving from pandemic to endemic, and we are actually coping with our own strategies, of these transitions and life events when we have coped with whatever to go out without wearing masks. We can cope with it. Even just a few days ago, we started especially in KL, Putrajaya, and Selangor, we start our phase 2 that we can go interstate and inter-district traveling. Yeah, so we can cope with it. Actually, it has about three months plus. Actually, we're not allowed to in the district. We are very, very cautious. Yeah, so it will help us to understand better later on. Now, just now, JP had also asked our audience how we public view mental health issue in Malaysia. So this is the statistics research conducted in 2009 by Ip and Lau. So you see, 23.2% view that anyone can suffer from mental health problems. Anyone, yeah. 51.7% say people with mental health problems are often dangerous and violent. Not necessary, yeah. Because all of us have mental health issues. Stress we have, right? We have anxiety, right?
Yeah, I suppose, Father, on this, I think, it's just like physical health. When it comes to mental health, everybody has one, right? Am I right? Am I right to say it like that everybody has a mental health? It's just whether it's a good kind of mental health or a not so good kind of mental health.
Yeah, correct. Afterward, I will share with you the mental health continuum, from the healthy, from the coping, and then up to the serious one, the mental health illness. Okay. Yeah, I will share that diagram and share it on. Okay. So 61% say people with mental health problems are largely blamed for their own conditions. Yeah. I want to mention this one because in the last part of this slide, I'm going to share to you how do we cope with the locus of control, internal and external control. And 62.3% say, if I suffer from mental health problems, I would not want people to know. So this why in this statistics, we find that people have this stigma of sharing what we are going through with our mental health problems. For us, like, I think, JP, I think you understand that when we have diabetes, when we have high blood pressure, we have cholesterol, we can easily tell people, hey, I took one pill of tablet of this cholesterol pill, high blood pressure, it's okay for us to say that.
It's socially accepted for you to disclose your health conditions if you have one, right?
Right. However, when we have very stressful life, we cannot cope with our stress relationship, our friendship, somebody don't want to talk to us, we feel irritated. We don't dare to share to people, we just keep to ourselves.
Yeah.
Something that we have need to change after we understand this topic. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now when we talk about COVID-19 affecting our mental health, if you look at the graph on the right hand side, your right hand side, okay. So there is a correlation between COVID-19 and how it compares with the mental health, So you see the COVID-19, the graph is increasing and then going down. However, the mental health need is continue moving outward. Continue moving outward means that when 2 years ago, when COVID-19 started, in the whole world, there is a need of mental health already. And when there is going to the different variants, then we see that the mental health is keep on continuing on, because even though how much we address on it, we still a lot of areas we need to handle. Yeah. So it will affect our well-being, especially when we are locked down. You see, especially in Malaysia, we have locked down so many times. Somebody said that MCO1 is necessary, MCO2 might not be necessary. It's for some particular reason. However, because of the lockdown, we face a lot of restriction, a lot of business, a lot of our organization, even our churches. We cannot go to church. No, we cannot have any wedding. We cannot have any funerals. So this social distancing, I should say that is different from the physical distancing. During the restriction lockdown, during the COVID-19, we can have social communication. We can have social communication. However, we cannot have physical contact. That's why we can have physical distancing. We cannot have social distancing. Because social distancing, we are human beings. We are not living in isolation. We still need the community, the support of other people, and that support of other people from our peers, can help us when we have like some stress, some anxiety, some problems. We can find somebody else to talk to. We are social people. We are not like somebody like staying alone in an island. Correct, not JP?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so because of that, COVID-19, all of us have the fear of contracting the virus. Even though now most of us, we have 2 doses of vaccine, we still feel the fear. We still feel anxious. We still feel fear that how long we're going to lose our job. So that fear, that anxious, still continue on. Up to today.
Yes.
Another one
long after people have been vaccinated, I think that's what the graph is saying, is that there is an increase of mental health need, even though the fear of the infection, the fact that it's endemic, it's still going to be there. There's people that will always need the need for help, especially mental health, right? That's what you are trying to see here in this particular graph.
Correct. And also now, the last topic that I'm going to give in this South District Pastoral Council, I'm going to talk about the grief and loss during this COVID-19. So we talk about a lot of bereavements and a lot of enclosures for the grievers. And when they entered the hospital, they were detected positive, in the level 1, level 2, even up to level 3, level 4. They're in the quarantine center or at home. People start grieving already.
Yes.
And until the day that they end up in hospital, some of them, I remember just 3 weeks ago, one of the parishioners who contacted me because his father was positive, and then his father waited for the hospital bed for 4 days. He cannot get any place in the hospital. And unfortunately, after the day that he was admitted, it became very serious, and after the second day, then the father passed on, and become a very, very difficult situation for these parishioners. I think a lot of people face it also, not only those in our overseas, however, in Malaysia, in our context, in Archdiocese of Kuala Lumpur, all of us face this one. Our relative friends who pass on during this time, we cannot go and have a proper ritual. I cannot see them for the last moment. Today, I'm going to talk about it on the third topic.
Okay.
Good. So now, this is the mental health continuum that I'm talking about just now, and JP just now you said about mental health. So we have actually mental health continuum is a range of well-being, having mental health and mental health issues. There are two extreme ends, depending on the circumstances of any individual at any time. So on the left-hand side is healthy. We can still do our work, normal function. And then after that, we have reacting. We have common and reversible distress. And then go to the red area, the injured. There's been very severe and persistent functional impairment. And come to the extreme right is the clinical disorder, severe functional impairment. So these four areas actually is very important for us to understand. So we're going to talk about it in the next slide, and you'll see much clearer. Right. So in this healthy and reacting, injured, and ill, this is the distinct markers that the mental health professional categorize it. Healthy means what people who lie at this point are generally satisfied and happy in their lives. They are emotionally well balanced, stable, and they can cope with normal stresses of life and the challenges that every day brings, such as everyday work, exams. They're able to contribute to the community, and many people practice good self-care and social support. All this like regular exercise, healthy sleep patterns, and etc. And we come to reacting. So people who lie at this point may show some distress and inability to cope when faced with a significant event, such as bereavement, but are capable of performing daily life functions. They can still cope with it, even though they react with the situation. And come to the third distinct markers, injured. People who lie at this point may show distress and inability to cope over a longer period of time and are not easily alleviated by an individual's typical coping strategies. And so this in turn start to have an impact on performing daily life functions. So for example, like people cannot sleep already, a lot of anxiety and like start thinking, feel they are very hopelessness, they are very worthlessness, then they start the decrease in their performance in the work, a lot of sleep, night, cannot sleep.
Yeah.
So a lot of withdrawal, etc. And we come to the last marker is you. So this is the end of the continuum. And as the name suggests, people falling under this category are unable to cope with stress and exhibit significant changes in their thoughts, behaviors, and actions. So from the thinking, the behavior, and the action, you can see they're very different from normal people. Their symptoms can be significant and prolonged that needs the support of mental health professionals. Yeah.
Father, if I can just stop at this particular slide.
Yep.
When we look at this continuum, right, and I'm sure with our viewers who are watching into this program, they're probably wondering, does it take a lot for a healthy person to move to the reacting stage, or from a reacting stage to move straight into an ill stage, for example? Does it take a lot, very little? Does it move up and down? How does that figure out?
It depends on the individual, how their coping strategies and mechanism. For you and me, maybe we can just go and play games, we can just sing karaoke, then everything will be over, right?
Yes.
However, for some individuals, they keep on going back to the past. They want to change the past and then they fix the future, which will never happen, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
you see from here, the top here, it requires us to have self-care and social support, and we can manage. Yeah.
Okay,
and,
understood.
And then this one, when come to this stage already, you need professional help already. So what we're going to do now, we I'm trying my best to educate how we do our self-care and social support. So then we're going to not go to go into the last third and fourth markers.
Okay.
This is
So self-care and social support is what we will learn from you today.
correct. Yeah. Right. This is what you can do. Everyone can do one. Yeah? And I have been giving training on this one. A lot of people find it very, very easy actually. Not difficult. Yeah, very difficult. And this is the guarantee I assure you. Yeah, I have been.
I like the sound of this already. There's a guarantee at the start of the program that all your viewers will be a very satisfied customer at the end of it.
Because I've been training many sessions already. After I gave this session, I asked, is it easy to do that? Very easy. How do you feel? Very comfortable, very calm, very peaceful. And it works, it works. Yeah. Right? So now let us come to this first, what is anxiety? Right? So I'm going to give you a scenario. Of course, this is not the real person. I changed the name. Joseph, 55 years old, is a male. So his biggest problem is worrying. He worries all of the time about everything under the sun. For example, he reports equal worry about his wife who is undergoing treatment for cancer. And when he returned his book to the library, he recognized that his wife is more important than a book. Okay? And it's bothered that both cause him similar levels of worry. So Joseph is unable to control his worrying. Accompany his excessive and uncontrollable worry, difficulty falling asleep, impatience with others, difficulty in focusing his work, significant back and muscle tension, and his worsened when his wife was recently diagnosed with cancer. So you can see that he has a lot of worry there. And because of worry, then a lot of complications come in, right?
And it can affect, it's already affecting his physical aspect of his health, right? Sleepless nights and constantly worrying. And
muscle become very tension.
Yes.
Right. So if you look at the anxiety, we can say that, it has so anxiety is feeling of worry, nervousness, fear experienced during challenging situation. So actually everyone has a short-term anxiety. For example, I come to present before the audience. I have a little bit of anxiety also, whether the PowerPoint can work or not, internet okay or not. Yeah, presenting in front of people, of course, have a lot of anxiety because people start evaluating me. Yeah, it's normal. Everybody face it, right? JP, what do you think if you meet your boss? Your boss call you one day, I'm going to see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So you try to think, what the boss asking me for? See my performance not well done, or I have no bonus this year.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. So basically, you are saying that having some sense of worry is normal, right? But when does it become anxiety is probably what you have just described earlier on as well. I would say maybe the symptoms of it.
That's right. So I'm going to talk about the symptoms. Biologically, you can find that light-headed dizziness, sweating. You find your butterfly in the stomach. You're breathing very fast and also got some sleep problems. Cognitive, you're thinking. Overestimate threat, underestimate ability to cope, hypervigilance to threat, overgeneralized thinking in our cognitive, right? And behavior, we try to avoid. Avoidance, because of fight and flight. We just avoidant. We don't do. I give excuse to my boss that tomorrow I'm not free. I got stomachache. I cannot come and see you. Reassurance seeking. Okay or not? Am I okay or not? I'm doing well or not? Safety seeking. Am I safe or not if I go out afterward to gym or I go to the park to do some jogging? Am I okay or not? So there is a lot of behavioral symptoms there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about our viewers, but I personally can relate to this when I was eventually given my slot for the vaccine. And the night before I got my first dose, you know what? Some of this actually are things that I actually experienced it myself. The fear that, up to the day of me going into Bukit Jalil PPV to receive my vaccine, there was that, that worry, am I okay? And then after the jab, I kept asking myself, do I feel okay? Am I getting a fever? Is this like, something that is common? So I suppose that comes with certain humanistic response to a thing like maybe a vaccine, because we don't often get a vaccine, for example. So yeah.
Because when our first vaccine we got when we were still a baby, our parents bought us there. Whereas if you ask your parents, our parents were very worried about us. At that time when we still baby, we can cry only, But now we get it's different. Even after we get the jab coming back, they say, did I get the jab? How come I not fever? How do people got fever? No, we're still worried.
Yes, you're right, Father.
I think all of us experience all this. Okay. Now, another one is I want to talk about is depression. Let me give you one scenario of this person, Sabrina. She is 33 years old, female. She used to work as an air stewardess, but got laid off due to the pandemic. So she has tried to reinvent herself by applying for jobs that require similar skills as her previous job, but each application was met with rejection. So currently, Sabrina stays at home with her 3-year-old son, and she has been suffering bouts of severe fatigue and dizziness. She said that flying is her first love. She feels like a failure because she worked so hard to become an air stewardess, and now it's over. So Sabrina said that she is usually a very active person, but has lost her interest in her hobbies and does not have any money to play with her son. So this is the scenario of depression. So JP, from here, what do you find about Sabrina?
I think there's probably, I find that the way you describe it, Father, it sounds like there's guilt. There is a lot of inward looking, asking herself, that I'm not up to mark. I really don't have the talent. That's, constantly beating yourself. I think that's how it's actually gone out of hand, because then she starts to feel even worse because she keeps going into that loop. Am I right to say that, Father?
Correct. And also, you see, for her actually become an air stewardess, her salary can have a good income and also can sustain her family. Now cannot really.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go back to her hobbies. Actually, she lost her interest, and she is a social withdrawal from her peers because they want people to talk about it. So this is a signs of symptoms of depression. Yeah. So let us look at this depression. So depression actually is persistent sadness and a loss of interest in activities that you normally enjoy, accompanied by an inability to carry out daily activities for at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Let's look at the symptoms. Biologically, loss of energy, sleep disturbance, change in appetite. Cognitive, thought of self-harm, suicide, because difficulty focusing, feeling worthless, and guilt. Just now, JP was talk about a lot of guilt that she harbored, right?
Yes.
Behavior, inability to carry out daily activities, crying spells, social withdrawal, loss of interest of things he or she loves to do. So if a person suffers from depression, look at these categories: biologically, cognitive, and behavior. You can find a lot of symptoms there. So of course, we don't want people to end up in this depression, because people live in depression, they might have like the thought of suicide, the thought of self-harm is there. And that's why it's very, very common, especially in this COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah. So we need to advise out if you have some mental health issues, don't worry to talk to people that you can trust. Talk to your family members. And family members who are the viewers, be supportive. Don't judge. Don't condemn them. Talk to them, respect them. Yeah. This one I'm going to share with all our viewers. Okay. Now, so let's do this statement sound familiar to you. I'm going to read out some of the statement here. I'm a mother of two. Ever since I start working from home, I have to juggle between housework, oversee my children's online classes, and my job also. I'm a catechist of the church. I have to prepare catechism online. And when we start this pandemic, a lot of catechists that find means and ways to prepare. I think JP also a catechist, you know what I'm talking about, right? So this lady also decided. And I feel guilty when my child calls my attention me when I'm working and I can't respond because I'm on a call. Yeah. Working from home is tough, and it does not help that childcare center are closed. I receive urgent requests from my boss via WhatsApp as late as 11 p.m. at night. Because working from home, there's no day and night. When the boss call you, you need to respond, because if you want to keep your job, you want to lose your job. Right? We are made to work on Saturday and Sunday to offset the perks of not having to go to office. And church voluntary work are piled up too. Distributing goods, taking care of the BC, the leaders. My employer has made it compulsory for all employees to share the live location. I feel like that it is an invasion of my privacy. When we are working from home, the boss say you have to make sure that you are on live device, so that he can check. There's no privacy already for the employees. I live with my family, and they keep on requesting me to do things like, working from home. Just because working from home is not mean that you are at home can do your family work, father calls. However, you have to attend your work also. So become a lot of stress. Right? So from this statement, you can see that very familiar to all of us. I think our viewers also can identify.
Absolutely. I think it may not apply to the statements that you shared. All may not apply to me, but some of it, the work part, the social expectation, the fact that we are all working for somebody somehow, one or another. There is actually a snowball effect as well, especially if you have colleagues and you need to work together. There is also that part that you need to collaborate online, which is something that we all had to learn at the start of the pandemic.
That's right. So at first we cannot get into it. It takes time for us to adapt to it and learn bit by bit, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Good. So what is stress? The degree to which you feel overwhelmed or unable to cope as a result of pressures that are unmanageable. That is called stress. Right? So how about work-related stress? It is response people have been presented with work demands and pressures that are not matched to our knowledge and our abilities. Work-related stress. Okay. So actually, just for your information, stress is not a psychiatrist's diagnosis. However, it is closely related to our mental health. Yeah. So the next slide I'm going to share with you, is stress always harmful? So I'm going to share with all of you the eustress and distress, right? So if you look at the vertical here, the performance, and the horizontal here is the stress level. So you see, from too little stress, we become inactive, laid back, fatigue, and good stress peak is here because our performance is high and our stress just enough. Our stress level just enough. This part, good stress peak, we call it eustress. Eustress is a positive stress and has the following characteristics. It motivates, focuses energy, is short-term, is perceived it perceived as within our coping abilities, feel exciting, improve our performance. This is called eustress. Eustress actually is good stress. Actually, we need that stress so they can perform it. However, when we go to the down slope there of this curve, we start experiencing exhaustion, anxiety, panic, anger, and finally breakdown. We burn out. So distress is called bad stress. Called distress or negative stress. It has the following characteristics: causes anxiety or concern, can be short or long term, is perceived as outside of our coping abilities. We feel very unpleasant, decreased performance, and can lead to mental and physical problems. That's why we end up in burn out and breakdown.
Yeah.
So, JP, would you like to share which part of this stress level are you in now? In terms of your performance?
If I was a teenage JP and you ask my parents would say that I was probably going to be at that layback section of my entire teenage years because I was always chill. But if you ask me now, as somebody who's working and part of society, I think there are moments where I pivot between good stress peak and also moments where there is exhaustion. Just to share an example, when we all went into the initial pandemic stage, we basically lost all forms of physical contact. So I enjoyed coming for Mass. I enjoyed being part of the choir ministry, but all of that had to immediately stop because it was the start of the lockdown. And that kind of tipped me over the stress to the point of the exhaustion and anxiety, because on top of work, I didn't have an outlet where I could release. Previously I could go and sing with my choir, but now I couldn't. So sometimes I would say I move between the good stress towards the bad stress. But now that 18 months on, I have learned to cope with it better. Okay. And I would say that it's now in the general good stress, right on the left side of the curve.
Very good, JP. We give it up. Good. Very good sharing. Thank you. Now, let's look at how stressed are Malaysians.
This would be interesting. I'm actually very curious to see the statistics.
All right. So look at this one, mental health and work environment. That's what I found in the internet. So look at the percentage of employees in Malaysia who cannot decide when to take a break. That was before pandemic, 2017, 2018, and 2019. You see, from 17 to 20% of the employee in Malaysia who cannot decide when to take a break. So they see they called workaholic.
Yeah.
And on this graph, you can see percentage of employees in Malaysia who do not feel they have a choice in deciding what they do at work. That was before pandemic, 29%. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Father, I won't be surprised if they were to take the same poll with the same group of target, it will probably be a higher number, right? Would you agree with me, Father?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to find the latest statistics, however, I cannot find it. Look at the mental health and stress in Malaysia. So you see from here, percentage of employees in Malaysia with moderate to severe symptoms of depression. So you look at here, the younger the age, the higher the percentage of people suffer from depression. The youngest, 18 to 20 age group, 16%. Then
this is actually a very revealing statistics, Father, because the fact that 16% of 18 to 20 age group employees are feeling moderate to severe symptoms. I'm really curious to find out as well, why is there the number as such? Because I would think that, being younger and I would say less commitment, less responsibilities, you would not feel the stress. But I'm wondering whether this is actually a self-created stress because they have just started work, for example, and they want to move up and, coupled with all the expectations socially and also from the work, maybe that's why they are constantly having that moderate to severe symptoms of depression.
Right.
But it's a very interesting statistic.
Correct. Yeah. You see, when young people they start working, I think that the balance of life, the balance of life.
Yeah.
The
Between
balance of
what is the work-life balance. I get what you mean, Father. I get what you mean. When you're young and you're ambitious, you think that every stress that you have at work or in life is a good stress because it helps you motivate to push yourself further. But then as you start to get older, you realize that it's actually not healthy anymore. But by that time, that's why the statistics is such, right? That there's actually a very high percentage of younger folks in the workforce feeling some form of a depression.
Okay. Look at the right-hand side of this slide, this graph. Percentage of employees in Malaysia reporting poor or very poor quality of sleep. You see the younger age, the sleep quality, the percentage is very high.
Yeah, it's almost 1 out of every 5 people under the age of 30. It's actually getting trouble sleeping or having poor quality of sleep.
Correct. I think one of the things is that younger people might spend more time at night. They are not sleeping also. They are doing some other activities like online games, chatting, or maybe clubbing. They won't stay. They will come back home after work. The socialized activities, social activities.
And I think because of the fact that we are in a pandemic and we are moving to the endemic stage and all, maybe there are people of a certain age group that are now not just holding one job, but they're holding 2 jobs, 3 jobs, weekend jobs. So that explains, maybe the mental health situation and also the poor quality of sleep that they are actually having.
Yeah. And now, because not easy to find jobs. If you look at the statistics of Malaysia, the number of percentage of populations that lost job is very, very big. The number is very big. Yeah. Another one is the during last year the survey on the depression, anxiety, stress using the DASS scale of 21. They can find that depression, anxiety, and stress. You see the color here is extremely severe. Depression is very severe, beginning last year. And then severe, moderate, and mild. So we look at the moderate, this orange color. You see depression from very extreme severe to moderate is very high actually. Anxiety also is very high, and stress is very high. So that's why
I mean, it's really interesting looking at this, right? Thinking that, oh, wow, there's green, so it's not all that bad. But when you look at the numbers and you look at the breakdown between those who are, suffering from depression, anxiety, and stress, cumulatively, that's a very big population of people who are extremely severe in the categories of depression, anxiety, and stress, right? I mean, if I were to look at the green versus the other colors, that number is actually quite alarming, Father.
Correct. Yeah, you see, for depression is more than 40%, about 45%. Here is about 40%, up to near about 40% already. Anxiety is about 40%. That's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. So I hope during this second part, then we can learn how to cope with all this. Yeah. I'll teach all of you very simple exercise and techniques.
Looking forward to that.
Okay. So look at our depression, loss of productivity in the workplace. This survey was conducted in 2017. So that time the cost of depression, direct, indirect, cost about 1.9 billion ringgit per year. That was in 2017. How about now? I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
One of them is mental health issues. Yeah. So we lack of mental health care specialists. Yeah. So okay, good. So now I want to move forward, and this is the trigger warning. If you have any trigger when I start presenting this slide, you may leave this YouTube so that I want you to feel safe now. I want to share with you about this suicide statistics in Malaysia. So you see, in 2019, 609 cases Last year, 631 cases. Just increased. So this year, first 5 months, 468 suicide. You see, increased so much. You know? In 2019, 3 deaths by suicide daily. First 3 months of 2021, some reports say there are 3 to 4 suicide cases. And more than half the victims were 15 to 18 years old. So that was a research. It's very, very serious.
So this ties back to the earlier slide, right, Father, when we were looking at the younger age population,
Right.
having mental health issues and, you know,
Right.
quality of sleep. Yeah.
That's right. It's all related. Yeah, it's all related. Okay. So if we have time next time, we can talk about how to prevent, because 2 days ago we have this World Suicide Prevention Day. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of professionals, mental health professionals talk about this. Yeah. Okay. So now let's, what does stress look like? Now, these are the symptoms: frequent headaches, sleep disturbances, anxiety, loss, difficulty concentrating, muscle tension or jaw clenching, short temper, depression, GIT issue. GIT is a gastrointestinal tract, the acid reflux, cause ulcer, and body ache, chest pain, or feeling like your head is racing. So these are symptoms of stress. So if you have stress, we have all 1 or 2 of these symptoms. Yeah? And if you look at how stress does to our body, short term and long term, every part of our body will disturb. Long term, you see, tension, headaches, and migraines, mental health problems, serious heart problems, trouble breathing, all these are here, and increased risk of type 2 diabetics and fertility problems for many people. So this
I think it's good to leave this on for a while, Father. And I think for our viewers, maybe this is also a very good opportunity to think about it, you know, in just 30 seconds, a minute, just basically thinking about whether have you suffered any of this. It could be the short-term side of it, or it could be a long-term side of it, you know. And I think it's a very good pulse check as well, right? That we are doing this this program, and we are going to be learning very shortly about the coping mechanism and what we can actually do to reduce the stress or release the stress from our body.
All right. Yeah. All right. So shall we go to the next one?
Sure.
Okay. Now let us learn how to manage our stress. Okay. First, organize work day. Have a to-do list. Prioritize top 3 things according to deadline. Dedicate and ask for help. Number 2, exercise, because it helps in releasing endorphins. After I'm going to show the slide, what are the enzymes that our body produces to help us to feel happy. So exercise helps in releasing endorphins. Try to work as much as possible using staircase. If it's just one or 2 floors up. Another one is exercise, get enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours of sleep if possible. Sleep hygiene, bedroom should be reserved for sleeping only. No work laptop bring into your bedroom. Because sometimes we like to bring our laptop, our handphone, go to our bedroom there.
Yeah, the screen time, right? That's actually very important, knowing how to cut off your screen time before going to bed. And
you have to prepare your bedroom also to be dark and silence. No disturbances. Okay. And then accept mistakes. Okay. Focus on positive things that happen in that day. Don't talk about negative only. Don't think about negative. And do your best you can on each job or task that given to you. So this is the 4 points I give to all of us here. Okay, and then next we come to learn how to say no diplomatically. Number one, cushion it with kindness. Okay, you can say like this. This sounds like a great opportunity, but I have to pass. Thank you for considering me. Give your reasons. This is an interesting pitch, but our organization doesn't have a budget for this kind of project right now. Offer an alternative. I can pick up the weekend shift for you this time. However, I can cover for your Monday if you need a day to recover afterward. Okay, and the last one is leave the door cracked. All right, you may say like that. Thanks, I would love to speak at your event, but the timing this year is no good. Would you please keep me in mind for next year's summit? So you see, if you talk like this, people, you can say no, very diplomatically. However, you don't hurt others and hurt yourself also. Yeah. Okay. This one is about working from home. So you create a routine, have a ritual to mark beginning of the day. Okay, for example, in the beginning, for the day, you can say a prayer first, Then mark end of the day, what time you come back home, don't bring back your work log back to your house. I usually encourage my clients, people come to seek for help, I say, put a floor mat in front of your door. Like Jesus saying, dust off your feet before you enter to the house. Whatever happened in the office, don't bring back to your house. Or else you will come to see your pet coming to wag the tail to you, welcome you back, you kick your dog, and then the dog won't come back to you anymore. So very innocent, your dog. Okay, and then wake up, have meals, sleep at the same time. Okay, you have your meal at the same time, sleep at the same time also. Create a dedicated workplace, desk and chair, and not on your mattress. Okay, preferably a place that is free of distraction. Of course, in the family with the husband and wife together, the children doing homework also quite difficult. So husband must have a place where you can dedicate in your workplace. Also connect with friends, schedule a video call with your friends, family when you need help. When you find that you are very boring already, very burnt out already. And also reward yourself. Taking a break from your work is important. After you complete your project, for example, you like chocolate, you like cheesecake, okay? That's something like that to reward yourself. Okay, don't be so harsh on yourself. Every day doing penance, not necessary, right? Once a while can reward yourself, make you happy. Because for me, for example, after I complete a task or I feel very, very dull and boring, I just do one piece of small bar of chocolate, dark chocolate. Chocolate is very good for my brain. I can think better, I can feel happy. All this is very, very good to reward ourselves, right? Okay. Right. Any question from you, JP?
I mean, this is actually a very practical tool. Creating the routine, dedicated workspace, connect with friends, and reward yourself. Are there certain instances whereby people may find it even more challenging than normal to basically think about how, maybe just to start off as a very simple question, how do I create a routine, right? I mean, yes, so fine. I actually work from home and all, but and sometimes I get calls late into the night and it all sounds very well and good. Is there a simpler step of how I can start off by creating a routine? Should I write it down and then to try and error? Because I guess the challenge here is that if I create a routine and the routine fails on me, I'll feel even worse because it's like I can't even maintain a simple routine, right? So what would you say to those questions?
Number one, we need to be disciplined ourselves. Number two, the routine can be flexible, adjustable in the environment changes. Of course, you can put on your routine, your timetable. However, some circumstances might turn out and you have to change the whole thing again. And mine is okay. We can still adjust here and there. As long as I start my work and finish my work on time and have an on-time me time for me to relax also.
So for me, Father, I think it's interesting. Maybe I'll share my routine. So I actually have a Spotify playlist for when I want to get into work mode and when I want to get out of work mode. And I realized that distinguishing between the two Spotify playlists, one in the morning and one in the evening, helps me get out of the zone. It's kind of like a mental version of a doormat that I get out of. Yeah.
Yeah. Good idea. Yeah, I should learn from you.
We learn from each other, Father.
Okay, sure. Now we talk about how do we relax ourselves. Now I talk about physical rest. Most of us, when we are very stressful, we go to sleep. I should consider this one as a very passive way of physical rest, sleep, take a nap. However, there are other active physical rest, like you do exercise, stretching. Now the massage center haven't opened. You're gonna do foot massage. Foot massage also help you, body massage. Mental rest, like take a break. Okay, keep a notepad next to your back. Something in your mind, just write it down. After write it down, finish. Okay. Sensory rest means close your eyes for a minute and unplug all the electronics. Just have your mind rest for a while. Creative rest, enjoy the beauty of the outdoors. I love outdoors. When I go for morning exercise, I always go out to the park there and look at the views, listen to the birds singing, the insect singing, look at the sunrise. Or work space with art. You can do some drawing, painting. It's very good. It's very, very creative rest actually, And followed by emotional rest. It's very important for us. Be authentic. Unleash our feelings, important. When people say that you're very angry, no, I'm not angry. However, our tone of voice is very, very heavy already. So learn to say no very politely, diplomatically. And also social rest. Surround yourself with positive and supportive people. This is important for us. People are very, very proactive, very energetic. Mix with them, will get influenced by them. Don't go with people who always complain, naggy, non-stop. Focus on who you are speaking to, right? And then spiritual rest. This is the one that I always encourage, because prayer, meditations are very important for us as a Catholic. So the researchers already proven that prayer and meditation will help our mind to really go into the peace and calm mood. So that is important for us. So I encourage all of us to say prayers, to sing, because singing is the 2 times the strength of prayers. Meditation is very important. We focus on meditate the word of God, contemplate and reflecting and put in actions. That's why I think JP, you miss all your choirs, friends. When you come back to the church, you can sing with them, practice your organ with them.
Yeah,
enjoy
it's
it.
really interesting. Yeah, because Father, going to choir practice, I can see here, I'm getting my spiritual rest, I'm getting my creative rest, I'm getting my emotional and social rest, because it's just so many things that I can actually gain from going for choir practice, right, physically. So yeah, you're right. I mean, that's something that I miss, and I hope that we can actually be able to be physically together again as a ministry.
I agree with you, because a lot of people call me out, Father, when we are coming back to the church, I want to go for confession, I want to receive communion, Yeah, I think there is a connection there. That's why for us, we are very blessed that we still can do online. However, that is not enough for all of us. We need to go back to the church one day. We pray hard. We pray hard.
Amen to that.
Good. So now I want to invite our other team member here, Jared, Crystal, and William, to join me with exercise. Exercise. Right now, I think the time is a bit nice already. However, exercise is important. Now, the first thing I want to teach all of you is to do deep breathing techniques. All right. So I want all the viewers, also our YouTube viewers, to join me together with our team members here to do this.
So we have, so Father, we have William, Crystal, and Gerard, basically, who are actually in the back, who is going to be joining us for a little bit of workout, I would say, in the afternoon.
So the first thing we do is to do deep breathing techniques. So you breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. Okay. First, you have to do, you sit or stand with a chair can link your back now, and then put your two hands on your thighs, and you slowly, gently close your eyes. Okay. So I want you to breathe and count 10 times. Breathe in 1, breathe out 2, 10 times. So I want to ask you to do together, and you count with yourself and listen to my instruction. Okay. So slowly close our eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out 2, 3. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now slowly we open our eyes. Okay. So how do you feel? This simple deep breathing techniques.
Crystal, would you like to share what is your experience?
I think it felt very calm and peaceful for me. And then I sort of like could zone out, and I hear everything that's in my background, the birds, and then people talking. Yeah, so I think it's a very, very good exercise.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah, good. Now, this is very simple. Any way that you feel stressed, you feel very worrying, you can use this one to focus on your breathing, and everything will be fine. Yeah. The next one is more relaxing. It's called progressive muscles relaxation. So what we do is we start from our forehead down to our toes. We use our brain to tell each part of the body that we want to relax now, right? From your forehead down to your toes, tell your body, every part of your body, that I want to relax. Okay, so what you do, you put two your hands on your thighs, slowly and gently close your eyes, and I will guide all of you to relax. Now my forehead is relaxing now. My brain is relaxing now. My eyes are relaxing now. My nose is relaxing now. My mouth is relaxing now. My neck is relaxing now. My shoulder is relaxing now. My two arms are relaxing now. My backbone is relaxing now. My chest is relaxing now. My heart is relaxing now. My tummy is relaxing now. My 10 fingers are relaxing now. My two thighs are relaxing now. My two knees are relaxing now. My two legs are relaxing now. My 10 toes are relaxing now. Now from the top of my head down to my toes, all my cells, my skins, my internal organs, all are very relaxing now. It is so light. It is so peaceful. It is so calm. It is so relaxed. So free. So light. Like a feather floating in the air. So calm. So light. So peaceful. So light. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly moving my shoulders. Moving my 10 fingers. Shaking my legs. Slowly and gently open my eyes. After that, you're flicking your all 10 fingers and shake. Okay, how do you feel, Jared?
Very relaxed, Father. In the beginning, I was, wondering, telling myself, can I do this? Normally I'm it's not easy to get focused. After a while, when you said, forehead, eyes, nose, mouth, it went down to my knees. I was like, okay, am I floating? I was really relaxed, Father.
Relaxing, okay. How about William? How about you? Thanks, Jared. Thanks for sharing.
I think, Father, it's actually quite refreshing because I think a lot of times I think it just occurred to me that we take for granted for all of that our bodies will always be as normal, but oftentimes we don't realize that our daily routines or whatever that we have to do just pushes us into the stress mode, and then I think it's good to have you to have somebody to actually to guide us, that we force ourselves to throttle down a bit, to slow down, instead of just going ahead with what we want to do every day without that rest that our body needs. Yeah, so it's very good, Father. Yeah.
Thank you, William, for sharing. JP, what about you?
I think you should do a podcast, and your podcast should just be on the whole script that you just mentioned. And I agree with William and also Gerard that this is actually very helpful when you have got a voice guide to go through from the head right down to the toe and up again. And it's that deep contemplation. I think that was really helpful for me.
Right. Yeah, this one, if you can practice from 5 minutes to 15 minutes to 20 minutes every day, it helps you a lot. It relaxes automatically, Yeah, it's proven, this one proven. I having practiced this one for many, many years. I went to the congregation, the sister in Malacca, when I went there to give sessions, and sister invited me to give this one to the children. So with the sister around, they sit on the floor, and after the session finished, I asked the student, as young as 5 years old, this young boy told everyone that he feel very, very relaxed. He feel like he's very, very peaceful. 5 years old boy, you can say that, So I think it's work for everybody. I encourage all of you to do that. I myself, when I need to have a peaceful mind, I always do that every day. It's very good. Yeah. So I encourage all of us, especially the viewers in our YouTube channel, please do so, right? Okay, good. Now, the next one I want to ask you, how mindful are you? We spend so much time inside our heads, no? And to end up living in our heads. So ask ourselves, do you find it difficult to stay focused on what is happening in the present? Do you tend to walk quickly to get to where you are going without paying attention to the nearby flowers, trees, the birds singing? That it seems as you are running on automatic without much awareness of what you are doing. At times where I hear people saying that I go to the shower after coming from work, then wait in and come out, and after come out, the person asks the family members, did I wash my hair? Did I put a shampoo? Because so automatic, you just wash without realizing whether he or she wash with shampoo or not. So forgot about it. Even we eat something, like we go to the shop, we eat some food, bak kut teh, for example. We eat so fast because we're rushing for time, and then we cannot taste the taste of the bak kut teh, the flavor, or even your roti canai. And then you forgot the curry, the dal, is there. So we are not paying attention of what we are doing. That's why we need to slow down. Especially we come back from work. We need to be mindful of what we are doing. Talking, sitting, even breathing. It's mindfulness, breathing. Even eating, drinking coffee. That's why I ask you, all of you, to bring a cup of coffee or tea and enjoy that moment of coffee and tea, with tasting the aroma, the taste of the coffee. It's called mindfulness, right? So now, mindfulness meditation is awareness of actuality and being in a non-judgmental state. Okay, it gives peace of mind, tranquility and self-fulfillment, and a sense of being in present. So tranquility means the quality instead of being calm, peace. So when I went for this conference, I went for a number of conferences last year on this mindfulness international conference, and the speaker taught us how to do that. Mindfulness is this second, the second above and second below in between. Being here and now without judgmental state. Don't judge all this like that. No, just being there. So today I'm going to practice with you. If you can, tonight, if you go for your dinner with your family or you're taking dinner by yourself, try to taste the soup or try to eat the rice slowly. Now, when I conduct this type of sessions with the public, I always ask my team member to get ready the raisin. Put one piece of raisin in your mouth and chew it for about 2-3 minutes. And after that, you taste the taste of the raisin. And you'll be surprising, if you are doing mindfulness eating, you will find that the raisin tastes sweeter and tastier than ever. Because we focus here and now, being present here and now. And so important for us. Yeah. Okay. So today I'm going to teach all of you 6 ways to practice mindfulness. First, be in the now. Okay, guide your awareness back to the present moment. Number 2, bring attention to your breath. So that's how we are doing deep breathing. Is also mindfulness. You focus on breathing, breathe out. Breathing, breathe out. Okay, you count 1, breathe in, out, 2. Breathe in odd number, breathe out even number. If you don't want to count, your mind can put the word, the prayer word like Jesus, 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 Jesus. It's called mindfulness already, pray. And know your mind. Notice when the mind is wandering or worrying, or bring it back to center with mindful breathing. When you do this breathing, right, your mind wander away. Don't get panic, don't get angry. Just slowly bring it back and focus here and now. I remember this many years ago, I practiced this centering prayer. We use the word Jesus. So we're just repeating the mantra, Jesus, and we cross our mind, use the breathing. If our mind wander away, slowly, without panicking, bring it back to here and now, without judgment. Just repeat here, breathe Jesus, Jesus. Okay. Number 4, it takes tools. Is to see the most benefit from mindfulness. Remember the 2 key ingredients: awareness and appreciation. Aware of what you observe and appreciate. Like for example, breathing. Nowadays, we become to realize that breathing is so important. If you cannot breathe, that's the end of our life. So you see a lot of people, a lot of patients in the hospital, they're fighting for the last breath, the oxygen. Without oxygen cylinder, they cannot survive. So each time we breathe in, we give thanks to God. We still breathe. Give thanks to God. Breathe out, praise to God. And number 5, be appreciative. Reflect and appreciate caregivers, family, and friends, and relationship. So today, if you call your family members, you talk to your parents, you talk to your wife, children, or your siblings, your friends. Say thank you to them, being there for you. Number 6, pay attention to the experience of basic happiness in everyday life. Happiness, be happy, be content every day. It's important for us, right? Okay. So I got a few more. This is a grounding technique. So I want all of us here to practice the grounding techniques. Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding techniques. Okay. So ease your state of mind in stressful moment. Acknowledge 5 things that you can see around you now. 5 things you can see around you. Okay. Acknowledge 4 things you can touch around you. Okay. Acknowledge 3 things that you can hear around you. Acknowledge 2 things that you can smell around you. Acknowledge 1 thing that you can taste around you. So when you acknowledge this one, you write it down, and you find that it's very good for you to ground in here and now. Yeah, we are not living in the past, nor living in the future. We live here. So this is very good. For example, come back from work, you're very disturbed. Just do this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, Father, we can hear you. In fact, I think this grounding technique is interesting because it requires us to be in the present.
Correct.
And in a way, it frees us from thinking about so many other things that could be clouding our mind. So I am actually going to be trying this grounding technique when I'm actually going to be, when I'm going through a stressful moment, because I like the fact that it's very specific. And our brains work very well with specific items, because then it automatically zooms into the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 things.
All right. Good. Yeah. Good. Very good. Thank you, JP. Now, let us look at the happiness chemicals and how to hack them. So we need these 4 chemicals that our body naturally produces. First is dopamine. Dopamine is the reward chemical. When you complete a task, doing self-care activities, eating food, spreading little wings, all these will create this dopamine in your body naturally and free. Another one is serotonin. Is a mood stabilizer. When we do meditation, when we do running, when we expose sound to the sun, walk in the nature, swimming, cycling, exercise, all will produce serotonin. This is a mood stabilizer. Oxytocin is a love hormones. So if you have pets, playing with your pets, playing with your baby, holding hands with your loved ones, hugging your family members, give compliment will give you the love hormones. That's why this social distancing, when we cannot hold hands with, cannot shake hands when you see our friends. We use like this only when you go to the church like this. How many of you here have pets at home? Crystal, you have pets or not?
No, I don't, Father. I wish I have.
Okay. William, do you have any pets at home or not?
Yes, Father. I have a dog.
So do you like to play with your dog?
More like the other way around.
The dog seeking attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think your dogs only love hormones also. Okay, good. Right. So hugging, if you have families already, siblings, your children, your spouse, you can hug them. And the last one is the endorphin. It's a painkiller, we call it. Laughter exercise. Essential oils. You can use essential oil like peppermint, lavender, or lemon oil. And for me, if I got any need some calm my mind, I have peppermint oil. lavender oil help me to sleep, cool down my body and relax my body. Watch a comedy. Dark chocolate is my favorite. Dark chocolate. Small piece of dark chocolate without sugar one. The bitter, the better. And the last one, exercise. I love it so much. All these are the natural painkiller. So I encourage all of us here, all our viewers on the YouTube, try to utilize this God-gift free enzymes that we have by activate ourselves in these activities. Okay. I think we have enough for this afternoon. I'm going to share the last one is the loss of control. Okay, something that control within yourself. This is that I can control. Outside, which I cannot control, right? So my positive attitude, how I follow this SOP, turning off the news, the fake news, finding fun things to do at home, my kindness and grace, so I can focus on my thing. Outside, I cannot. How other reacts, other people's motive, predicting what will happen, the action of others, if others follow the rules of social distance, these are external locus of control. So I can control myself, right? The next one also, the learning, self-improvement, exercise, relationship, career growth, this I can control. The outside I cannot control, right? The weather, the traffic jams, people, I cannot control. Right? So after you listen to this afternoon sharing, if you need any help, if you find that after you listen to this one, you can help yourself, you might seek some professional counsel for help. So this is our web page, You can talk, you can go to the WhatsApp 017-915-6188, or you just type this Google form, seekcounsel.archkl.org for appointment. Okay. Now our staff come back on the meeting, so you can call this number if you need help. We will try our best to help you. Okay, all our counseling need booking money. Okay. So thank you so much for your attention and your time, especially in this lovely and sunny afternoon. And if any questions from the viewers from the YouTube, you may do so. I stop sharing now.
Thanks, Father. Thank you for that informative, hour-plus session on mental health, especially during this pandemic, or I should say endemic COVID-19 situation that we are in. And also for our viewers, I hope that you've actually learned one or two tips, especially towards the end of the program. Father actually did share a couple of exercises that we can all do. And I see that we've got some questions, Father. So maybe what I'll do is I'll actually read them out, and then we will actually get you to respond to them. So the first question that came in is, how do we know the tipping point of needing professional help in the mental health continuum? I think that was referring to the earlier table that you shared, right?
Yeah. So you look at your symptoms. The symptoms you have, and you can use this coping mechanism that I taught you this afternoon. If you can do it and you find that you're still okay, then you don't need help. After you do this coping strategies exercise, you find that you cannot do, and you need some professional help, you can refer to us.
Okay, and I think the website that our viewers can go to is seekcounsel.archkl.org if you need further information. Right. So that would be Seek Counsel, seekcounsel.archkl.org. So I think we've got another comment coming in from Peggy. It's thanks, Father, for suggesting the word Jesus. I think that was referring to the breathing exercise, the inhalation, exhalation. I find it easy to pace my breathing doing it just now.
That's a lot.
And the next question that we have comes from CY19. Hi, Father, can we know if we are tired from physical health? We usually rest and get some sleep. But if we are tired from mental health, what do we do?
Depends on what type of mental health issues. Yeah, if stress, then you can do exercise. Can do other activity like whatever activity you like to do that make you happy. You know, some ladies like to do pastry, like to make cakes. If you after you make a cake and you bake so nicely a chocolate cake or cheese bun cake, and you share with family, all enjoy, they say thank you to you, you feel good actually. Depends on individual, what are your interests and hobbies. Yeah, some might plant flowers, plant vegetables, no? Well, what do, yeah.
So I guess to respond to what CY19 was commenting about, I suppose like what you shared, Father, is to start off with something simple. Think about the interests and the hobbies that you have. And it could be as simple as taking a walk and looking out and then looking at all the greens and all the trees and all the flowers. If that's your thing, that could be one way of releasing that mental health, that tiredness from the mental health part, right?
Right. Correct.
So we've got another question coming in from Jacqueline Yo. Her question is, hi, Father Philip. If we identify some symptoms of depression, anxiety, or stress in a person, while the person says that they are okay, and they're not willing to talk about it, what else can we do to help them?
It's not easy if the person does not recognize it, does not acknowledge it. It's not easy. Yeah. Unless the person find that they have some stress and anxiety is still okay. Depression is quite difficult really because they have social withdrawal. Stress and anxiety still can help them, guide them to think positive, try to have a proper routine, daily routine. Try to follow the steps that I gave to all of you in this afternoon session. Follow back again. Yeah. Depression.
And I guess, and I guess to also respond to Jacqueline's question, I suppose one of the simplest thing is to offer a listening ear and just be present for that person. Am I right, Father?
Correct. Being there, empathetic, attentive listening. Don't judge. Just being there with them. Listen empathetically.
Non-judgmental listening, being there, empathetically listening to them. I think those are the keywords that I got from you. So Jacqueline, if you're out there, I hope you've actually gotten Father's tips as well, and also some helpful hints from the exercises, and you can perhaps do it with the person. Some mindfulness exercises that could be one way of finding that balance and to help the person without directly confronting them. And we've got Evan Kulas, who's a life coach. Thank you, Father Philip, for a very informative and helpful session. And another one coming in from Grace Seam. Thank you, Father, for your insightful session. Stay safe and God bless. So we've actually gotten towards all the end of the program, and we see that there's actually questions and comments and feedback. And we really, really thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in this afternoon for our mental health formation. And I see another question coming in. Children face stress at a very young age. Should we suggest the same approach?
Deep breathing techniques, mindfulness meditations. It's proven already, clinically it's proven already in UK and US. So it's okay for us to guide our children. Also, parents don't give too much expectation on our children, because our mind, adult mind, cannot put in the young children mind, because the prefrontal cortex not yet fully developed until 21 years old. Don't think us like, how come you cannot think like this? Of course, the children thinking cannot be like the same like the adults thinking.
Thanks for that feedback. I think we have one more question. Father, what do we say when someone, I think this is actually on suicidal ideation, so this could be a trigger alert, a trigger warning for our viewers. Father, what do we say when someone who, after all the advice received, still wants to end their life and wouldn't want any counseling session?
So if you are that person, if you're the person that encounter this type of people want to end their life, talk about the suicide ideation. Ask him what are the methods you use to end your life. Do you have any plans or not? Do you have any training other place or not? Other way to end your life or not? Tell me more.
What is the intention of doing that, Father? What is the intention of asking those questions? Because it sounds like it's counterintuitive to ask the person how their ideation is going to be executed.
Right. If the person don't want to smoke a cigarette, right? You give cigarette, he or she don't want to smoke also. So because that person has some life event that has caused him or her emotional pain that he cannot overcome it. So that's why we thought by ending the life, then he will solve all the problem. Actually, he wants people to listen to his emotional pain. So the more we're going to talk about how he ends his life or her life, we want him to tell us more. What's the point? What's the emotional point? How do you end the life? Actually, they don't want to die. They want people to come and help them about the emotional pain, how to solve the emotional pain. They don't know how to do that. And research already proven that the more you're going to ask about this, they won't talk about it. They don't go to end of the life. When you say, I'm going to talk about the suicide thing, and they were going to do that because nobody want to talk about it. For us, we're taboo, want to say death.
Yeah. That's a very interesting insight. And perhaps to respond to Evan's question as well, there is the resource available on seekcounsel.archkl.org, where the person could perhaps, you could perhaps relay this to the person to actually seek further advice or even speak to somebody who can actually help them with it, right, Father?
Right. Mental health ministry, we're going to come out a very good program, outreach program called Shalom Care Line. So it's going to be launched very soon. We have about more than 100 volunteers who are doing the telephone emotional support. Very soon we're going to launch it. I'm going to put it in our YouTube for this social communication broadcasting. We will go and put out our poster. If any of our friends, relatives has any emotional issue, want to ask for help, need somebody else to listen to, there's a call line. A call line that is called Shalom Care Line. It's started by others, the mental health ministry, and collaborate with Penang and Malacca Johor Diocese.
That's a wonderful initiative, Father. And I think that brings us to the end of today's formation. But to all of our viewers out there, I just wanted to say a very big thank you on behalf of our viewers to you, Father Philip, for taking up your Sunday afternoon to do a session like this with us. It's really informative, lots of practical tips, a lot of exercises that we can actually take on. And most importantly is that this recording stays on the YouTube channel, and you could actually share this link to your friends and family for them to watch, or you can actually host a watch party with your friends and family. So just to share, Father, I understand that this is actually a series, a 3-part series of health and wellness formation. And so the second topic that's going to be upcoming on the 25th of September, which is a Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. would be on a topic of caregiver and mental health. Maybe you can give a little bit of insight to our viewers. What would this topic be covering?
Well, some of us might be caregiver to our elderly parents or our family members. And being a caregiver, we face some mental health issues. And how do we cope with it? Then come to join us on the 25th of September. Actually, there's a poster I'm going to share out, is it?
There is a poster, and I think we can actually get it from the respective parish website. But I also understand that the third topic, which is to round up the wellness formation series, would be on grief and loss in the pandemic. And I think this is something that you've alluded to at the start of our program, Father, where we talk a bit about grief and mourning the loss of our loved ones during the pandemic period. And that would be on the 30th of October from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. But if anyone would like to actually find out more information, you can actually reach out to the KL South District Pastoral Council. They are the organizing committee for this Health and Wellness Formation Series 2021. And alternatively, you can also follow Father Philip on social media, which he's very actively talking about mental health and all the other topics that he'll be covering in the upcoming formation series. So to wrap it up, Father, maybe you would like to share 1 or 2 words of advice or even tips to our viewers for today's show.
Well, today we talk about a lot. Actually, all the mental health is in our fingertips. The most simple thing is deep breathing techniques, progressive relaxation techniques, mindfulness techniques, the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding techniques. All of these are very simple for us to do. If you can follow all these simple exercises, I believe if a practice will make you perfect in handling your mental health in your daily lives. Whether you're at home, at church leaders, you're a teenager, you're children, you're adults. Yeah. So keep it up. Don't give up hope. Yeah.
Thank you, Father. And on this note, I would like to say a very big thank you to the KL South District Pastoral Council for organizing this afternoon's Managing Mental Health During COVID-19 Pandemic Health and Wellness Formation Series. A big shout out to Crystal, to William, to Gerard, to our technical team, Jacinta, Ruben, and everyone else, especially to our viewers this afternoon. Thank you so much for taking your time off this afternoon. And to wrap it up, Father, if I can just invite you to give us a blessing, a closing blessing, that would be fantastic.
The Lord be with you.
With your spirit.
And may Almighty God bless you and your family and your work and our parish in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace to glorify the Lord by your lives.
Thanks.
To God.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. See you at the next session. Thanks, Father.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, William, Albert, Jacinta, Albert, and Ruben.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. God bless.
Thank you.